Hi everyone, this is your video for Chapter 6, Lesson 6, Simple Interest. For today, your learning target is to be able to understand and apply the simple interest formula, and you should be able to explain the meaning of simple interest and use the simple interest formula to solve problems. Your 3 vocabulary words will be interest, principal, and simple interest. Interest is the money paid or earned for using or lending money. The principal is the amount of money borrowed or deposited. In other words, your principal is how much money you start with, or how much money you have at the beginning. Simple interest is money paid or earned only on the principal. So simple interest means you don't get to make money off of the interest. You only get to make money off of the principal. And the formula that you're going to use for all of this, and that you're going to need to highlight or even rewrite, is right here. Interest equals principal, how much money you start with, times the interest rate, and it has to be in decimal form. And you're going to multiply that by time in years. And note, it has to be in years. So if it's given to you in months, you might actually have to write this as a decimal as well. So let's take a look at an example. You deposit $500 into a savings account, right? So that's going to be your principal. The account earns 3% simple interest per year. So what is the balance after 3 years? So we start with I, where I is how much simple interest you're going to make. P is principal. R is your rate. And T is your time. So we have to think about what we know. We know we have $500. The rate of simple interest is 3%, so that's 0.03. And then times time in years is 3 years. So for this, we'll just use our calculator to compute, and we multiply 500 times 0.03 times 3, and we come up with $45. So what this means is if you take $500 and put it in the bank, and your account earns 3% interest, in 3 years, you will make $45, which means altogether, you'll have $545 3 years later. So now you try it. What is the balance of the same account after 9 months? And I'll remind you that we start with $500. The interest is 3%. And now it says after 9 months. So you go ahead and try this one, and then push play when you're ready for the explanation. So we start with simple interest equals principal times rate times time. Our principal is $500. Our rate is still 3%, so 0.03. And our time is 9 months. So 9 months out of a year is 12. And 9 divided by 12 is 0.75. Because this is years. So we'll multiply 500 times 0.03 times 0.75, and we get $11.25. So in example 2, let's find the annual interest rate. We start with the same simple interest formula, This time it says you deposit $1,000 into your account. The account earns $100 of simple interest. We do not know the rate. The time is 4 years. So we need to simplify this equation. What I notice right away is I can multiply 1,000 times 4. So I can get 4,000 R equals 100. And then to get R by itself, I divide both sides by 4,000. And 100 then divided by 4,000 will give me my simple interest. R equals 0.025. That is as a decimal. So now move your decimal point 2 places to the right. R equals 2.5%. So now you try it. You deposit $350 in an account. The account earns $17.50 simple interest. In 2.5 years, what is the annual interest rate? Pause the video, try this one on your own, and push play when you're ready. Simple interest equals principal times rate times time. Our principal is $350. We do not know the rate. We know the time is 2.5 years. And we know that we make $17.50 in simple interest. So let's multiply 350 times 3.5. And that's 875 times R equals 1750. So now divide both sides by 875. And we get 1750 divided by 875. So our rate equals 0.02. Move that decimal point twice, and you get a 2% interest rate. In example number 3, a bank offers 3 savings accounts. The simple annual interest rate is determined by the principal. How long does it take an account with a principal of $800 to earn $100 in interest? So let's take a look. $800 is the principal. Well, this first one at 1.5% says less than 500, so that one's not going to work. And the green one, to get 3%, you have to have more than $3,000. So that one's not going to be able to get us qualified. So it looks like we're going to be the middle one. So principal times rate times time equals interest. Okay, and what it says is we need to earn $100. So 100 equals principal of 800. The rate is 2%, so that's 0.02, and we do not know the time. So we'll do 0.02 times 800, that's 16. So 16t equals 100. Divide both sides by 16. So 100 divided by 16 equals 6.25. And that's years. So it'll take 6 years and 3 months in order to earn that $100 in interest. Now you try it. In example 3, how long does it take an account with a principal of $10,000 to earn $750 in interest? Push play when you're ready and I'll talk you through the answer. So we use our simple interest equals principal times rate times time. Here we'll notice that we won't have 1.5% interest because we have $10,000 in principal. We won't get 2%, we'll get 3%. So our principal of $10,000 allows us to get a higher interest rate. of 3%, so 0.03. And we're looking for how long it will take us to get $750. So we'll multiply 10,000 times 0.03. That's 300. Times t equals 750. Divide both sides by 300. 750 divided by 300 equals 2.5 years. In example number 4, you borrow $600 to buy a violin. The simple annual interest rate is 15%, and you pay off the loan after 2 years of equal monthly payments. How much is each payment? So let's set our equation up with simple interest equals principal times rate times time. What we know is our principal, what we borrowed is $600. The rate is 15%, so that's going to be 0.15. And then the time is going to be 2 years. So we'll multiply 600 times 0.15 times 2, and we get $180. So that's how much interest you're going to have to pay. But you also have to understand here, in this situation, you borrowed 600. So you're not just going to have to pay the 600 back, you're going to have to pay an additional $180 back for a total of $780. The question says that you'll pay this back over 2 years in equal monthly payments. 2 years is 24 months. So you're going to take your $780 that you owe, and you're going to divide that by 24. So $780 divided by 24 equals $32.50 per month for 2 years. For number 8, you want to deposit $1,000 in a savings account for 3 years. One bank adds a $100 bonus to your principal and offers 2% simple interest. Another bank does not add a bonus but offers 6% simple interest. Which bank should you choose? So we'll start with our simple interest equation for both. And then let's look at the fact that it doesn't matter, we're going to deposit $1,000. Bank 1 adds a $100 bonus to your principal and offers 2% simple interest. So the rate is going to be 0.02. Years is 3, and they're going to add $100. So let's simplify this out. 1,000 times 0.02 is 20. 20 times 3 is 60, and 60 plus 100 is $160. So for bank number 2, we have $1,000. We have 6%, which is 0.06, and we have times 3 years. So here we go $1,000 times 0.06 times 3, and we get $180. This is something that banks will often do to try to make their accounts look more lucrative or make them look better. They'll offer a small percentage interest, and then they'll offer you that kind of carrot. They'll offer you, we'll give you $100 extra. But in all reality, you need to know how to calculate the interest, because a higher interest rate often ends with more money paid back to you in the long run. Here's one more example for you to just watch. Your cousin borrows $1,125 to repair her car. The simple annual interest rate is 10%, and she makes equal monthly payments of $25. How many years will it take to pay off the loan? This one requires multiple steps. So let's start with simple interest equals principal times rate times time. Our principal is $1,125. Our rate is 10%, so 0.10. And our time is per 1 year. So when we multiply 1,125 times 0.1 times 1, we get an interest of $1,112.50 per year. From here, we need to take this information and we need to take it a step further because it's asking how many years will it take to pay off the loan. So we're going to need to make a large table. Our table is going to need to have years, money, and how much of the loan is paid off. So let's go with years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Money. And money paid off. Okay, so right now we know, let's say money owed. Right now, in 1 year, we have the $1,125 plus $112.50. So that is a total of $1,237.50. That's how much money we'll have to pay after 1 year if we don't pay off anything. And all I did was I added the principal plus the interest. Now, if we go a whole nother year without making any payments, we owe $1,237.50 plus we would owe another $112.50. So we would owe a total of $1,350 after 2 years. If a third year passes, $1,350, that's how much we owe, plus another $112.50. So after a third year, we now owe $1,462.50. We'll continue this process of adding $112.50. Now we'll end up with $1,575. Add another $1,012.50 because that is our interest. And after 5 years, we'll owe $1,687.50 and $1,687.50 plus another $112.50. That puts us at $1,800 after 6 years. So now let's think about how much money we're going to pay off. She's going to make equal monthly payments of $25 per month. 12 months in a year times $25 per month. So 12 times 25 will give us how much money we're going to pay in a year, which is $300. Okay, so in year 1, we'd pay off $300. In year 2, we could pay off $600, $900, $1,200, $1,500, $1,800. And now notice, once we get to year 6, we owe $1,800, but by making $300 a year payments at 12 months times $25 a month, we end up being able to pay off $1,800 worth over the course of 6 years. So the question says, how many years will it take to pay off the loan? 6 years. Now it's your turn to try it, and this will end the lesson. You borrow $900 to buy a laptop, and you plan to pay it off in 5 years with equal monthly payments. If your interest rate is 20%, how much is each payment? This one is a lot easier than the previous example I did. Just think basics. Use your interest equals principal times rate times time to solve. You will not need to make a table. And then once you're ready, push play and I'll show you the answers. So here you borrow $900. You plan to pay it off in 5 years with equal monthly payments. Your rate is 20%. And 5 years is your total time. So we'll go 900 times 0.2 is 180. 180 times 5 is 900. So that means over the course of 5 years, you bought a $900 laptop and you're going to pay $900 in principal plus another $900 in interest for a total of $1,800 for a laptop. You're paying double for a laptop by paying 20% interest. Now in 5 years, times 12 months, that's going to be 60 months total. So 1,800 divided by 60 months is going to be $30 per month. For 5 years, you'll pay $30 a month. But the thing to keep in mind and think about, you just bought a $900 laptop and you paid $900 in interest, so you paid double the price for that laptop. But that wraps up the lesson for Chapter 6, Lesson 6. If you still have questions, please reach out to a teacher for additional help, and good luck with your homework.